Every single morning, the war begins before you even open your eyes. The alarm goes off, and that split second, right there, is the moment that defines your life. It's not about how rich you are, how talented you are, or how many opportunities you have. It's about whether you move or you hesitate. That first decision is the difference between the man who controls his destiny and the man who lets life control him. Because the truth is, most people don't wake up for anything. They wake up because they have to. They wake up to survive, not to conquer. And that's why they lose before the day even starts. When you wake up without a purpose, you're already lost. You check your phone, scroll through nonsense, and poison your mind before the day has even begun. You wake up reacting instead of attacking. You wake up tired because you have nothing to look forward to, no mission that fuels you. The body isn't tired, the soul is. The mind is weak because it doesn't have a reason to fight. And that's what separates the winners from everyone else. A man with purpose wakes up differently. He doesn't need motivation. He doesn't need comfort. His mission drags him out of bed. His purpose gives him energy that no amount of sleep can replace. If you want to change your life, start by changing the way you wake up. Because every morning, you are writing the story of who you are. That's not poetic, it's real. How you start your day reflects who you are inside. The lazy man negotiates with the alarm. The weak man snoozes. The undisciplined man waits for the right mood. The warrior, he gets up. He doesn't think, he moves. He knows that hesitation kills momentum, and momentum builds empires. That's the mindset difference. That's why one man ends up broke, miserable, and confused, while another ends up powerful, focused, and unstoppable. People love to talk about success as if it's a mystery. It's not. It's built in the first hour of your day. Every time you get up early, you're telling the universe you're ready for war. Every time you ignore that voice that says 5 more minutes, you're training your mind to obey you, not your emotions. That's where strength comes from. Not the gym, not the money. From the discipline of controlling yourself when no one's watching. Because that's when character is built, when the world is asleep and you're already moving. Every great man, every high achiever, every leader wakes up with a reason. They don't wake up hoping to feel good. They wake up because they have things to do, people to lead, goals to destroy. And the more chaos around them, the calmer they become. Because their mornings are sacred. Their mornings are where they prepare for battle. If you wake up without intention, the world will give you one. Distraction, confusion, weakness. The world will make you busy doing nothing, scrolling, comparing, wasting the most powerful hours of your life. Most people wake up like victims. They open their eyes and instantly they surrender. They surrender to their phone, to their mood, to their laziness. But a man who knows his purpose doesn't surrender. He commands. He wakes up like a general leading himself into war. Every morning, he reaffirms who he is and what he's fighting for. That's why his energy feels different. That's why he gets more done by noon than most people do in a week. Because he's not operating from comfort, he's operating from conviction. The truth is, how you start your morning determines how you handle your life. If your first act of the day is weakness, don't expect strength later. If your first thought is comfort, don't expect greatness. Your mornings are a reflection of your standards. And if your standards are low when the sun rises, your results will be low when it sets. The man who wins understands that mornings aren't just part of the day. They're the foundation of his empire. You don't build success in the afternoon. You build it the moment you decide to stand up while the world sleeps. You don't need a perfect morning routine. You need a reason to get up, a reason so strong that it makes excuses irrelevant. Because once you have that, you stop chasing sleep and start chasing victory. You stop dreading the alarm and start seeing it as the signal to rise. That's how you separate yourself from the herd. That's how you create momentum that never stops. The morning is where warriors are made, and the rest of the world is still dreaming while they're already conquering. Comfort is the most dangerous addiction in the world. It doesn't destroy you instantly. It slowly drains your ambition, your hunger, and your fire until you become a shell of who you were meant to be. You don't even notice it happening. You tell yourself you deserve a break, that you'll start tomorrow, that you've worked hard enough already. And before you know it, a month turns into a year, and your potential has turned into dust. Comfort is not peace. It's poison. It doesn't relax you, it weakens you. It makes you forget that life is war, and if you stop fighting, you start dying inside. Every great man, every conqueror, every leader had one thing in common. They never let comfort control them. They understood that the path to greatness was paved with discomfort, pain, and sacrifice. Comfort gives you the illusion of happiness, but it steals your purpose. It whispers lies like, "You've done enough," or "You deserve to rest," when in reality, your goals are still waiting, your future is still unbuilt, and your enemies are still working. That's why comfort is more dangerous than failure. Because failure teaches you lessons, but comfort teaches you excuses. People don't realize how seductive comfort is. It feels good. It feels safe. It tells you everything is fine even when deep down you know it's not. You stop challenging yourself, stop demanding more, stop feeling alive. That's how mediocrity starts. Not with defeat, but with comfort. You can't grow and stay comfortable at the same time. Growth requires resistance, and comfort is the absence of it. That's why most people never reach greatness. They're addicted to avoiding pain. They want the reward without the struggle, the pride without the pressure, the victory without the sacrifice. Comfort convinces you that struggle is bad, that pain is punishment. But that's a lie. Pain is the price of progress. Pain is how the universe tests your worth. The only way to sharpen a sword is through friction, and the only way to build a man is through challenge. Every time you choose comfort over discipline, you're dulling your own blade. You're making yourself softer, slower, weaker. And the world doesn't reward the soft. It rewards the strong, the focused, the ones who can handle pressure while others break. The modern world worships comfort. Fast food, soft beds, instant entertainment, easy success. Everything around you is designed to keep you comfortable and distracted. But ask yourself this: when was the last time you truly felt alive? It wasn't when you were relaxed. It was when you were challenged, when your back was against the wall and you had to fight, when you pushed yourself beyond your limits, when you faced something that scared you and refused to quit. That's when you felt purpose. That's when you grew. That's when you were truly alive. Comfort takes that away from you. It makes you numb. You see people chasing comfort their whole lives. The perfect job, the perfect temperature, the perfect weekend, the perfect balance. And what happens? They're miserable. They hate Mondays. They dread mornings. They live for temporary escapes. Because comfort doesn't bring happiness, it brings emptiness. It takes the edge off life until there's nothing left to fight for. You stop dreaming, you stop growing, you stop feeling proud of yourself. And when there's no pride, no purpose, there's no peace either. The man who chooses discipline over comfort doesn't live easier, he lives stronger. He's not happy because life is easy, he's happy because he knows he's in control. He feels alive because he's earning everything he has. He doesn't need comfort because he's found meaning in the grind. The pain, the fatigue, the struggle, they don't scare him. They remind him he's still fighting. That's what most people don't understand. Comfort doesn't protect you from pain. It ensures you'll feel a worse one later. The pain of regret. The pain of knowing you could have done more but didn't. Every time you choose comfort, you're choosing a smaller version of yourself. You're training your mind to settle, your body to weaken, your spirit to quit. But every time you choose discomfort, every time you push yourself past what feels easy, you grow. You earn respect, not from others, but from yourself. That's where real strength begins. When you look in the mirror and know you didn't take the easy route. When you know you faced the pain and moved through it. Comfort tells you to rest now and pay later. Discipline tells you to pay now and rest later. And that's the truth of life. You can't escape the pain. You can only choose which kind you want. The pain of hard work or the pain of regret. The discomfort of discipline or the emptiness of comfort. One leads to growth, the other leads to decay. And every single morning, that choice belongs to you. Most people wake up every day ruled by emotion. They let how they feel decide what they'll do, and that's why they never get anywhere. They wake up tired, so they stay in bed. They wake up unmotivated, so they skip the work. They wake up sad, so they waste the day. Their life is driven by emotion, not by mission, and emotion is the weakest captain you can ever follow. Feelings change by the hour, purpose doesn't. If you want to live a life that actually means something, you have to stop asking, "How do I feel?" and start asking, what needs to be done? When you wake up with purpose, you stop negotiating with yourself. You stop letting your moods dictate your moves. You stop being a slave to temporary feelings. Purpose gives you direction even when your mind is foggy, even when your body is tired, even when life hits you with everything it has. Emotion screams, stop. But purpose whispers, keep going. And that whisper is what builds warriors. That whisper is what separates the ones who win from the ones who just exist. Because anyone can move when they feel like it, but only the strong move when they don't. You have to understand, feelings lie. They're short-term signals that trick you into comfort. You can't trust them. You'll never always feel motivated. You'll never always feel ready. Waiting for the right feeling is waiting forever. You can't live your life like a puppet pulled by your emotions. You need a code, a mission, something bigger than moods. When you operate from purpose, your day doesn't depend on whether you're happy or sad. You move with consistency. You act with conviction. You don't ask your emotions for permission, you command them to follow. Look around, most people are emotional prisoners. Their entire life swings between bursts of excitement and waves of laziness. One day they're inspired, the next day they're empty. That's not living, that's surviving. They rely on motivation like a drug, always chasing a temporary high just to escape the reality they refuse to control. But a man of purpose doesn't need the high. His discipline is his fuel. His goals are his fire. He wakes up knowing exactly why he's here and what needs to be done, and that reason pulls him forward even when nothing else will. When you wake up with mission, you don't need external validation. You don't care who believes in you, who supports you, or who doubts you. You're driven by something internal, something no one can take from you. That's power when your reasons are stronger than your excuses, because there will be days when you're tired, broke, hurt, or lost. But purpose gives you direction when emotion gives you weakness. It's the compass that always points forward, no matter how chaotic the storm. You can see it in how a man walks, how he talks, how he carries himself. The man who lives by emotion is unpredictable, reactive, fragile. He breaks when life gets heavy. But the man who lives by mission, he's grounded. He's solid. His emotions don't disappear, but they never control him. Anger becomes focus. Pain becomes fuel. Fear becomes strategy. He feels everything, but he decides what to do with it. That's mastery. That's what being in control truly means. When you live by purpose, you stop being addicted to comfort because your eyes are fixed on something higher. You understand that discipline is freedom. You don't need to feel good to do good. You just need to do it. The feeling comes later, the pride, the confidence, the satisfaction. That's the reward of living by mission, not emotion. Because emotions are like the weather, they change constantly. But purpose is like the sun, it's always there, even when you can't see it through the clouds. Every morning, you have two voices competing inside you. One says, stay in bed, take it easy, you deserve a break. The other says, get up, we have work to do. Which one you listen to decides your entire life. The weak man listens to the first one and it feels good in the moment, but it destroys him over time. The strong man listens to the second. It's painful in the moment, but it builds him into something unshakable. And once you start living like that, once you start moving because of purpose, instead of feeling, you become unstoppable. The world doesn't need more emotional men. It needs men of direction. Men who wake up not because they feel like it, but because they must. Men who understand that greatness is not built on comfort, but on consistency. That's the difference between the ordinary and the exceptional. One lives for feelings, the other lives for mission. And when you start living for mission, the mornings stop being a battle and start becoming a weapon. Because now, you're not just waking up, you're rising with reason. Most people live their entire lives as if tomorrow is guaranteed. They go to sleep saying, I'll start tomorrow, and wake up saying, maybe later. They treat life like it's infinite, like they have unlimited time to waste scrolling, sleeping, complaining, doing nothing. But let me remind you something, you're dying. Every second that passes is gone forever. The clock is not waiting for your motivation to return, and life is not pausing for your laziness. You are either building your legacy or wasting your existence. There is no middle ground. And when you understand that, you start living differently. You start moving with urgency, precision, and purpose. You stop sleeping through your potential. The truth is, time is the greatest currency in the universe, and you're spending it whether you realize it or not. Every minute you waste on nonsense is a minute stolen from your future. Every hour you spend doing nothing is an hour your competition is using to outgrow you. The problem with most people is they think time is just flowing. They forget that every second brings them closer to their death. That's not meant to scare you, it's meant to wake you up. Because if that doesn't make you move, nothing will. You say you want success, but you treat time like it's free. You say you want to be great, but you behave like tomorrow is promised. That's why most never make it. They don't respect time enough to act. When you wake up with purpose, you realize every day is a battlefield. Every morning is another chance to take ground or lose it. You either rise as a warrior ready to conquer, or you fall as a victim to your own comfort. There is no neutral. You're either moving forward or sliding backward. Discipline is what keeps you on the path, because discipline doesn't care about your emotions. It doesn't care if you're tired, sad, or bored. Discipline says, I have no time to waste because I know what I'm chasing. That's how champions think. They move with urgency because they understand the value of time. You can't build a meaningful life if you treat every day like a rehearsal. There are no retakes. This is it right now. Most people are waiting for the perfect time to start, but the truth is, the perfect time doesn't exist. Every second you wait for motivation is another second you could have been building momentum. The ones who win are the ones who act even when they don't feel ready. They don't wait for energy, they create it through movement. They don't wait for clarity, they create it through action. They live with the awareness that time is their most valuable weapon, and they use it ruthlessly. Imagine you had a bank account that deposited $86,400 every morning, but deleted whatever you didn't use by night. You'd spend every cent, wouldn't you? That's exactly what time does. Every day, you get 86,400 seconds, and whatever you waste is gone forever. You can't store it, you can't save it, you can't get it back. Yet, people waste it on excuses, distractions, and fear. They trade their most precious resource for comfort and wonder why they never get anywhere. The difference between winners and losers isn't intelligence or talent. It's how they spend their time. Winners treat it like gold, losers treat it like air. You have to start living like you're running out of time, because you are. Every second you hesitate, someone hungrier than you is moving. Every time you say, I'll do it later, someone else is already doing it now. That's the reality of the world. The strong don't wait for chances, they create them. The disciplined don't waste mornings, they dominate them. And while the average man is still convincing himself he'll start someday, the warrior has already finished. That's what separates success from regret. You need to start asking yourself, what if this was my last day alive? Would I still waste it scrolling, sleeping, doubting, or complaining? Or would I move like a man who knows he's running out of time? Because when you truly realize how little time you have, your priorities change. You stop chasing comfort and start chasing legacy. You stop caring about small problems and start focusing on big results. That urgency transforms you. It forces you to evolve, to act, to lead. You start waking up earlier, working harder, speaking clearer, and living bolder. You stop existing and start living. Most people never become who they're meant to be, not because they couldn't, but because they thought they had more time. Don't be one of them. Time is slipping through your fingers every single day, and one day you'll wish you could buy back even one more hour, but you can't. The clock is undefeated. The only thing you can do is respect it, use it wisely, turn every second into something that matters. Because the moment you start living with that level of intensity, you stop being ordinary. You start becoming unstoppable. Pain is not your enemy, it's your greatest teacher. Most people spend their lives running away from pain, hiding from discomfort, doing everything possible to stay safe, soft, and numb. But here's the truth no one wants to hear. Everything powerful is born from pain. Strength, wisdom, confidence, discipline. None of these grow in comfort. You don't build a warrior's spirit by sitting on a couch. You build it by walking through the fire, by embracing the storms, by facing the parts of yourself that scare you. Pain is the universe's way of shaping you into who you're meant to become. The weak avoid it and they stay weak. The strong endure it and they rise. When life hits you hard, it's testing your foundation. Pain is a question that asks, how badly do you want it? Anyone can dream when life is easy, but who keeps pushing when everything hurts? Who still wakes up and trains when their body aches? Who still fights when the world is against them? That's what separates winners from everyone else. Winners don't cry about pain, they study it, they use it, they turn it into energy, because they know that pain is temporary, but the power it gives you is permanent. Every great person you admire, every legend, every champion, every leader was molded by pain. They've all been broken, humiliated, doubted, betrayed, but they refused to stay there. They took their pain and turned it into their armor. That's what you need to understand. Pain is not there to destroy you, it's there to prepare you. Every setback, every heartbreak, every failure, it's all training, it's all building you. Life is forging you like a blade. The fire that burns you is the same fire that sharpens you. Without it, you stay dull, soft, and ordinary. But if you face it, if you look pain in the eye and say, "You will not break me," you become unbreakable. Most people pray for easy lives, but easy lives make weak men. You don't grow through ease, you grow through resistance. Look at the gym. Muscle doesn't grow when you lift what's comfortable. It grows when you lift what hurts. That's how life works. The challenges, the failures, the betrayals, those are the heavy weights of existence. If you have the courage to face them, you get stronger. If you run from them, you stay fragile. Every time you survive pain, you earn a new level of strength, a new level of clarity, a new level of resilience. You start realizing that pain isn't something to fear. It's something to respect. Pain also reveals who you are. When everything is going right, everyone looks disciplined, everyone looks focused, everyone looks strong. But when everything goes wrong, that's when your true self shows up. Pain exposes your character. It strips away the fake confidence, the excuses, the comfort. It shows whether you're built for this or just pretending to be. And that's why pain is powerful, because it forces honesty. It shows you what's real. It shows you what you need to fix, what you need to build, what you need to destroy within yourself. It doesn't lie. You have to learn to use pain as your fuel. When life punches you, don't fall, smile and punch back harder. When people doubt you, use their words as motivation. When you fail, use the lesson as leverage. Every scar on your soul is proof that you fought. Every time you've been hurt and refused to quit, you've evolved. That's what life is, constant evolution through pain. The world will never stop testing you, so you can't stop adapting. You can't stop pushing. The more pain you can handle, the stronger you become, and the smaller your problems feel. That's how you build dominance. Not by avoiding struggle, but by mastering it. Pain is also a reminder of life. You feel it because you're alive, because you're trying, because you're chasing something that matters. The ones who feel the most pain are usually the ones doing the most with their existence. They're not numb, they're not asleep. They're alive and evolving. Pain keeps you awake. It keeps you aware. It keeps you hungry. It whispers, "You're not there yet. Keep going." And that whisper is what keeps warriors moving long after others quit. So stop looking at pain as punishment. See it as the path. See it as proof that you're on the right road. Because comfort won't build you. Success won't teach you. Peace won't test you. Only pain does. It's the one thing that guarantees growth if you let it. You either let pain break you or you let it build you. The choice will always be yours. Every morning when you open your eyes, you're being handed a choice to dominate the day or be dominated by it. That first decision, that first moment when you either rise or roll over, defines everything. Most people don't realize how powerful that split second is. They think the day just happens to them, that success or failure comes from luck, from opportunity, from some external force. But the truth is, the day belongs to the one who claims it first, the man who wakes up with a mission, with clarity, with purpose, already won before the world even started moving. Because he's not reacting to life, he's commanding it. When you wake up with direction, you move differently. You speak differently. You think differently. You stop living like a passenger and start driving your existence. You stop waiting for something to happen and start making things happen. The world belongs to the man who decides what he wants and wakes up every single morning to make it real. The lazy ones, the unmotivated ones, The ones who sleep through their potential, they'll never understand what that kind of power feels like, because they've never owned a day in their lives. They let days own them. Every time you hit snooze, you're not just delaying a few minutes of your morning, you're delaying your entire life. Every time you skip your responsibilities, you're sending a message to the universe, I don't value my potential. And the universe responds in kind, it gives you mediocrity. You can't cheat discipline. You can't trick consistency. You either live with intention or you drift. And drifting is the slowest death there is. You think you're fine because you're still breathing, but your soul's been asleep for years. You wake up, go through motions, survive another day, but you're not alive. The man who understands his mission wakes up hungry. He doesn't need motivation because he has meaning. Motivation fades, meaning lasts. He knows exactly why he's waking up, what he's fighting for, what he's building. And that sense of purpose gives him strength when nothing else does. It gives him fire when the world feels cold. That's what separates him. While others search for reasons, he's already moving. While others wait for permission, he's already winning. You need to build mornings that make you dangerous. When you start your day with discipline, you build momentum. And momentum is the most powerful force on earth. Once it starts rolling, nothing can stop it. But when you waste your morning, you kill that energy before it even begins. Your habits in the first hour dictate your power for the rest of the day. That's why weak men lose before they even begin. They start the day lost, distracted, aimless. Strong men, warriors, leaders, they start the day with intent. They wake up like soldiers reporting for duty. You have to understand something. Greatness isn't a single victory. It's not one big achievement. It's built in the quiet hours when no one's watching. It's built in the discipline to wake up when you don't feel like it. It's built in the repetition, the structure, the consistency that most people are too soft to maintain. The world remembers the outcome, but the foundation is laid in those lonely mornings where you chose to show up anyway. That's where winners are made. Every day is another battle in the war for your potential. The alarm goes off, and that's your first enemy. The comfort of your bed, your second. The temptation to delay, your third. And most people lose those battles before they even start. But the warrior wakes up ready to fight. He doesn't look for an easy morning. He looks for a powerful one, because he knows that if he can conquer himself in the first hour, the rest of the day is already his. Self-control in the morning becomes self-control in business, in relationships, in everything. When you start taking your morning seriously, you start taking your life seriously. You can't live with strength if you wake up with weakness. The tone of your day is set by how you begin it. So when you wake up, move like someone who's running out of time. Move like someone who knows the world owes him nothing and he must take what's his. That energy, that fire, that dominance, that's what makes people unstoppable. That's what makes kings out of ordinary men. Because in a world full of people sleeping through their destiny, the one who wakes up with purpose already stands above them all. You don't need perfect circumstances to start. You need a perfect mindset. You don't need comfort. You need control. You don't need motivation. You need mastery. And mastery begins with the decision to rise every morning, no matter what. When you start your day with that kind of conviction, nothing can touch you. The noise fades. The distractions die. The world becomes yours to command. Because once you learn how to wake up with purpose, you stop being part of the crowd and start becoming the reason the crowd wakes up at all. At the end of it all, the truth is simple: life will never hand you greatness. It will hand you opportunities disguised as pain, lessons wrapped in loss, and chances hidden inside challenges. And most people will never see them because they're too distracted, too emotional, too lazy to face what's uncomfortable. But the few who do, the few who wake up with mission, who treat every day like war, who see pain as training and time as gold, those few become unstoppable. They become the men the world remembers. You see, the difference between a happy winner and a stressed loser has never been luck, talent, or circumstance. It's discipline. Discipline over comfort, mission over emotion, urgency over hesitation. The world rewards the one who keeps going when others quit, the one who builds when others rest, the one who sees every sunrise as a command, not a suggestion. Every morning you wake up, you're being asked one question: will you dominate this day or let it dominate you? The warrior doesn't wait for motivation, he creates it through movement. He doesn't run from pain, he uses it as fuel. He doesn't waste time, he bends it to his will. Every choice, every action, every second is an investment in the man he's becoming. That's the mindset that separates the powerful from the powerless. Control over your time, your emotions, your direction, your destiny. So stop waking up without reason. Stop living like you have forever. Stop treating pain like punishment and discipline like prison. Every struggle you face is sharpening you. Every moment of discomfort is building your strength. Every sacrifice is a step toward the version of you that cannot be broken. Life isn't waiting. The clock is ticking. The fire is burning, and only one question remains: will you rise with purpose and build your legacy, or will you stay asleep and watch it all fade?